Olá a todas e a todos, bem-vindos ao vídeo direct, a semifinal do direct, onde selecionaremos aí 15 pitches das associações regionais para, na final do Ative Festival, a gente tem o grande momento da premiação de qual dos jogos das associações regionais vai ser criado, vai ser destacado. Nesse momento, a gente está aqui, uma banca para classes curadas, começar a ir da esquerda, temos Juliana Brito, a gente tem Lança, a gente tem o Marco Maia, da Austin Games, e o Mike Amassado, já que eles falam em Association. Serão os nossos jurados hoje, né, os pitches em inglês, então, os comentários, né, e os feedbacks vão ser todos em inglês. Então, peço, né, para que nossa audiência entenda a partir de agora que não fala só em inglês. E passaremos, eu vou chamar os jogos um por um aqui no telão, vocês vão assistir ao vivo, e depois de cada pitch, um dos nossos jurados vai fazer um breve comentário, e depois selecionaremos os 5 pitches que vão para a final do Big Festival. Então, vamos lá? Vamos começar com o primeiro pitch. Agora, por favor, jurados, muito obrigado pela presença. Agora a avaliação de vocês. Primeiro pitch, Dash and Swing, da AD Jogos, Inomination Digital.
Hey everyone, it's great to be here with all of you today. I'm Thiago from Inominatum Digital, and I'm really excited to talk with you about a project that our team has put their heart and soul into. So let's get ready to embark on a captivating journey with Dash and Swing, a game that seamless blend of relaxation, fun, fulfillment, and competitive triggers to create a unique momentum-based 2D platformer experience. In Dash and Swing, you'll dash, swing, and nudge your way through challenging levels, while also enjoying intuitive controls and a thrilling grappling hook mechanic. But this game is more than just an adventure. It's a complete sensory experience. What sets Dash and Swing apart is its ability to synchronize with the music that you love. As you dive into the gameplay, the world around you reacts in perfect harmony with the songs that are playing. We have taken inspiration from the nostalgic area of Windows Media Player, while also taking inspiration from games like Geometry Dash and Just Shaping Bits. This fusion immerses the player in the gameplay, while also offering the option to integrate your own playlist, creating your own safe space after a long day of work. But don't expect this to be a walk in the park. Dash and Swing offers a host of challenges with cunning enemies, treacherous spikes, and blocking platforms. But fear not, with every attempt to be able to time your moves flawlessly, being able to navigate through the hazards with elegance. And who say that competition and relaxation can go hand in hand? National Swing offers thrilling time trials, leaderboards for you to compete against your friends, and the ability to share in YouTube your gameplays. Challenge yourself with speedruns and unleash your creativity to beat the levels on your own way. And as you conquer challenges, you'll be able to unlock a dazzling array of cosmetic items to be able to personalize your game. Dash and Swing is a game for everyone, whether you're a casual gamer seeking a relaxing experience or a platform enthusiast hungry for a fresh and exhilarating gameplay. This game caters to all skill and ages. Its intuitive controls ensures that anyone can pick up and enjoy the game, while its level design offers depth and excitement for the most dedicated players. So, my friends, I invite you to join me on this incredible journey. Let the captivating rhythm of Dash and Swing guide you through a world of relaxation and adrenaline. Immerse yourself in this symphony of movement and sound. Discover the joy of mastering momentum and embark on a unforgettable adventure together. Let's dive into the world of Dash and Swing and dive into the music and in endless hours of fun. Thank you.
Eu acho melhor postar.
This is a moment because they didn't hear the sound the best way possible, so are just here to.
I think when you do a pitch and you don't appear, like we don't have the sound or the visual of the person speaking, because of that, it's a little bit harder to understand. And we also didn't have slide or visual support during the pitch, so as he was speaking, we didn't have the visual aid, we only had the video, so I think that was not a problem with like the infrastructure, but with like the pitch itself.
So, that said, let's go for our second pitch from Kingdom of Explorers, da Abrente, Será Games Studio.
So, Kingdom of Explorers is a co-op adventure RPG game. Each player needs to explore, collect many shared resources to unlock new terrains, to upgrade tools, weapons, to defeat the enemies, bosses, and save the dwarves' hidden island. We strongly recommend playing Kingdom of Explorers with a friend because you will need a partner to tell people that your achievements were true. Believe me. In the Kingdom of Explorers, players can collect resources, unlock new terrains, hunt and gather meat, bake the meat, eat the meat to restore health. That's important. Fight to survive, defeat the boss to save the kings, upgrade your weapons and tools, and there is a day-night cycle. At night, so dangerous. And by the way, all resources and inventory are shared. And we strongly believe that Kingdom of Explorers will help a lot of people with so useful teamwork skills like manage shared resource and defining strategy together. Kingdom of Explorers also puts players in a lot of situations that they need to define with the partner the best strategy when spending resources. Define who should improve weapons and tools first. That's important. Define which resources priority and why. And decide where they should go because, of course, they need to go together. In 2020, Saga Game Studio was created with one mission: creating a world where people can learn by playing. The next year, in February, we released our first game, NanoCell's Mission Back Home, that sold more than 30 copies in 2 months. And in the next years, we got the Epic Mega Grants from Epic Games. In where we want to go with this game, we really believe that we can see more than 1 million players playing Kingdom of Explorers in all the platforms. And we really believe that can be possible because there are 2 similar titles like Kingdom of Explorers that has more than 1 million players. What about the game? Now, with the early access version, players can complete the game in 3 hours. But in the full version, we plan the play will spend at least 8 hours of gameplay. And we have 7 boss, 18 enemies, 7 areas, 5 biomes, and 3 game modes, and much, much more. And what we need to make it? We need to finish the game $60,000, marketing support, porting, and localization. And when will it be done? We plan to finish the Kingdom of Explorers and release it in November 2023. So let's save the dwarves hidden island together.
I like the resource of the game. I like the design. I like the storytelling, but I feel one big fault about this page. It's lack of information, but by the business or one resource to place it, to put the pitch to discover how you do to make a money. Just, I guess I think the principal part of our pitch don't have nothing.
Yeah, from my end, I really like the art. I thought it would be really nice experience to play together one-on-one with your partner. And regarding it, I had an impression that the structure of it was a little bit chaotic, switching from peaceful sign to fighting and still getting a little bit of confusion from. And on the business side, yeah, I'd like to know what sort of support would be necessary for you to complete the game. So that's from me.
So let's go for the third pitch. Blackthorn Keep da Ring Linear Studios.
Hi, my name is Roberto Garcia, and I'm here to talk about Blackthorn Keep Chronicles, our upcoming open-world action RPG, set in a world that takes a lot of inspiration from South American colonial history and Brazilian imperial era. We'll introduce this setting through the eyes of our protagonist, Thomas Blackthorn, last heir for a fading family name and the destroyed castle from the title. Thomas will soon learn that the empire that his family spent 100 years defending is not as civilized as he's thought to be, and that the natives that he's thought to hate are not so different from him. It is a story about legacy, family, duty, and finding your own place in an ever-changing world. Blackthorn Keep is a game about sword fighting and making tough decisions, and as such, we could not go without the branching narrative system. Our game will have 3 different endings, and the dilemma system will make sure that every player takes a different route to them. We also highlight that the different decisions that we haven't made in the last one, so we can make sure that we have seen it all. Our combat system is a mix from Souls-like games and directional combat games like For Honor and Modern Blade, and it comes with like a fresh air in this open world action RPG genre. We also have a deck building leveling up system, and all of this coupled together makes for a very unique way of playing open world games. And of course, our setting, it's the South American medieval fantasy. We are creating a new world where the themes and tropes from the South American colonial period are actually inserted in the medieval world. And that makes for a very unique and new opportunities for storytelling. And to help us tell the story, we are bringing over Beatriz Villa and Ricardo Juarez. They are better known for their parties as Kratos and Freya in God of War Ragnarok recently. And they are responsible for creating original voices for the characters. In the last year, we have been to events and taking our arena module to get feedback from our combat system. And we are very excited and we are flattered that the players have been comparing us to games like The Witcher, Bannerlord, and Kingdom Come Deliverance. These are our benchmarks, but we are not quite in this space yet. We see ourselves here among games like Medieval Dynasty and Mortal Shell, and these games are some that made very well in the last few years, and we are positive that we can perform as good as these ones. We are looking to make up to 30 hours of gameplay and launch with a price point from $35 in about 2 years from now. We have a game concept already approved with PlayStation and Xbox. And we are looking for a little bit over 2.5 years of production ahead of us. And we are scaling our team up to 28 people in this period. Currently, our team is comprised of 7 people that comes from not only from gaming industry, but also tabletop RPG and movies. And we have been involved in a few in a few launches in this last year, over 15 launches in total. And we feel that we are now ready to do something of our own. Our game currently have over 3 hours of gameplay already, but we need to scale this up to 30 and make a lot of content. And that's why we have a very considerable budget of $1.4 million US. But we are very sympathetic to the risk of the investors, and that's why we are looking for ways to mitigate this. One of them is finding government incentives that can sum up to 40% of the budget, and we would be glad to discuss this further and finding other ways to mitigate the risk. That's all I had for you today. Thank you very much.
Primeiramente, gente, a gente sabe que está com alguns probleminhas de distorção do som, né? Esperamos aí que esteja dando para ouvir um pouco melhor, né? Eu vou tentar fazer vocês conseguirem ouvir um pouco melhor. O Rudá vai aproximar um pouco mais dos jurados na hora de fato, eles fazerem os comentários. E só deixando um comentário importante, todos esses jogos aqui são jogos brasileiros de associações regionais aqui do Brasil, que estão sendo selecionados aqui para esse evento de pitch, tá certo? Então, se algum de vocês quiser aí fazer um comentário, if you want to have any comments about this video.
We know it's the first game that they're making as a team. So, in general, I think the art looks compelling, and the atmosphere also looks great. The delivery was pretty good. English level also very good. The design of the pitch itself well structured, and the only thing I would point out is the business plan. The 2.5 years with 7 people. The ask seemed from my end a little bit high for the team that is making the game for the first time. So my suggestion is maybe make it a bit, scale the project a bit down and start adding features a bit later once there's bigger community around it. Because the thematic setting is the setting is in South America, but it seems like very much medieval, and from the first sight, I didn't see like where it felt like European typical setting. So I'd like to see a bit of this let's say South American taste.
I know American, I know this project version. Not somebody okay, I would point. Also, perfeito. Então, vamos para o próximo vídeo. Orla, de jogos estratégicos.
We were told that after the war, everything would be better. We were fighting for a better world. And soon my investigation agency was reduced to this, finding a folder with documents in an old spooky house. Hey, wait! The client's loaded and inherited this property, though he is superstitious and believes the house is haunted. And so here I am, in the dead of night, looking for a goddamn folder. Hey, can you hear me? Just great.
Hello, my name is Guilherme Eckel. I am game developer from Mr. Live Studio. I'm here to introduce myself, my company, and the project that we have been working on, called Orla. So, what is Orla? Orla, you can say, is a studies at layers of fear, but avoiding war trauma. In this game, you need to play as Moacir, a private detective who needs to investigate an old haunted house while confront the traumas from the war. This game is a 3D first person, a board of psychological horror with puzzles and logic challenges across the environment. with a unique progressive storytelling. For this project, we took inspiration from other many games, as Layers of Fear, Bending the Ink Machine, Backrooms, Visage, and Pop Playtime. The three main selling points for this game are the house is alive. In other horror games, you'll have this very well-known trope that the big monster keeps trying to kill the players, he keeps following them. But here we don't have a monster. The house is the monster that tries to kill the players. So players need to take careful avoiding traps and take a strategy. Other focus that we have is the dark visual style that is very inspired by the work of Mike Mignola, the creator of Hellboy, and the mix of World War II and horror that we are bringing elements of the war to more relevance for the horror. For the development and for the launch of this project, we have a strategy to separate the game in 3 different chapters and release these chapters conform the development. Right now, we are on the demo stage and we have intentions to launch the first chapter for PC. And after that, the second one and the third one is going to be sold as a DLC. And after that, we are going to sell the full game in a full price. Here you can see the strategy that we are going to sell for PC and console, and a budget for each chapter for the development. Here, for the funding, we are seeking funding for the development of the project, for operational costs, QA, port and localization, and marketing. We have estimated a total cost of $307,000. And here you can see a graphic showing which part is going to be expended the funding. For this, we have a market scenario here that we project some sales based on other horror games from the genre, and took it for scenarios for the realistic to more optimistic. Here, if you launch the first chapter, and this is for the launch of the full project. For the marketing, we have a big focusing on working on the social media, creating content for the enthusiasts of the horror genre, content for TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter, and create a community on the Steam and on our Discord channel as well. And about us, Mr. Dev Studio. We are a Brazilian studio that have been working on the game market since 2016. We have been working as outsourcing provider for dozens of other studios, developing different types of projects, and we have released 3 different projects for different platforms for mobile and console as well. Thank you for your time, and see you later.
I want to say I'm very happy to meet you and to information. Like you can see the page. Thank you very much.
So from my end, my concern regarding the game is that because I understand that it's written, I again, so I understand that it's a points of the better. Number 1, and regarding the distance on the link map from my end is that the game is shorter than 2 hours. So any player can complete the game, so that great risk on the business plan side.
Let's go now for our 15th no click, no click control and PID. Wonderful games.
I'm Nuri Khalil with Man Wolf Games, and you just watched the teaser trailer for No Pink, No Blue. No Pink, No Blue is a game that came together as a group of students had to finish their course and deliver this fantastic piece of work. The feedback was so positive that they decided to take it to the next step and seek financial supports to finish it. No Pink, No Blue is a piece of work heavily inspired on movies and literature that seek to explore and discuss identity and belonging. The biggest movie that inspired them is Wreck-It Ralph, and you can very clearly see it in the concept of the game, where our character looks for where she belongs in, going from game to game, genre to genre. So in this singular game, you're going to have an experience like no other, where you're going to play extremely different styles, going from level to level as the character and the story progresses, and they look for what is their sense of belonging? Where do they really belong? This game has a lot of potential, we feel, and we need a little bit of incentive and support for us to be able to implement everything that we want to implement in it. We'd like to implement more levels. We'd like to implement more story and more writing into it. We'd also like to introduce an upgrade system so that way the game can be replayed and it can be more and more interesting for people who are coming back to the game. We'd also very much like to make new different types of games to play inside the game. So right now we have 2D platforming action. We also have space gunfight style, and we also have a dress-up game. But we'd also like to maybe introduce a few different genres, such as pet taming, like Pokemon or things like that. We do believe that the game has a very different perspective, a very interesting story and character, and it deserves to see the light of day. So that's why we're looking for financial support, and I really do hope you enjoyed the idea. And we do have a release for you to experiment and see if you like it or not. Please let us know.
And see whether these
I really like the oratory, the speaker of the pitch, is pretty great. Congratulations on that. I would have liked to see a little bit more of the business plan and maybe some slides to support that. Very good.
So again, like from my end, I didn't quite understand the essence of the game. I like the art style, especially the spaceship part. And on the business side, my comment would be that I mentioned today super like $2. Price $2. Yeah. Okay. So I recommend reviewing this number because the break-even point would be like crazy amount of few 100,000 copies sold, which is very aggressive and not probably very realistic. So that would be my comment. But the oratory is really good. Yes.
So, vamos então, let's go there to the fifth one, Ultra Foodness 2 da The Jogos Tem Mobile.
Hit it! That's what I'm talking about. Wait! Okay, now, from the beginning.
Hit it, boys.
Do you know those last seconds on a basketball match? The game is tight and the whole arena is at their feet screaming. For you, against you, it's a complete chaos. You're on the edge and your next move decides everything. That's the feeling of playing Ultra Footmas 2. Your brother poking you to distract you, your two other friends form an alliance to kill you. That's the experience of playing Ultra Footmas 2. Ultra Footmas 2 is a cute but chaotic foot fight party game that every family member can play. You play through 12 hectic fast competitive minigames to decide who is the master meal. Each round takes less than 40 seconds, so you'll never get bored waiting to respawn. We launched Ultra Footmas 1 on Steam and all consoles. On the first 2 years of launch, we sold over 100,000 units. With Ultra Footmas, our focus is to be always fun, accessible to everyone, and family friendly. And our players love the game exactly for that. Every week, we got videos with thousands and millions of views popping up on YouTube, where we could see players cheering with their parents, fighting with their friends, and having fun in the chaotic way we planned. But with the first game, we got a chaotic, extremely fun, and highly accessible game. But we thought to ourselves, how could we innovate from that? How could we maximize the fun, maximize the chaos, but still maintaining accessibility? To solve this issue, we came to one mechanic, the dash. The dash potentialized the player intention. In the first game, your only available action was your movement. Now, with just one more game mechanic, we grow exponentially the possible game dynamics. Be it by using your dash to counterattack a mortal potato back to your opponents, or by using it as the last impulse to pass the bomb before it explodes, or by using your dash to knock your friend over to a mortal laser. The dash is the big addition in the sequence. It is what allows us to bring a fresh gameplay without losing what the fans love in Ultra Footmas 1, without losing what makes Ultra Footmas unique. We are Painful Smile, a game development studio with over 7 years of experience. Today, we work with more than 20 passionate professionals delivering games and developing quality. With Ultra Footmas 2, we're not building just a game. And we're not pitching you just a game. With Ultra Footmas 2, we're building a franchise. And we are inviting you to join us and make the Ultra Footmas series thrive even more. Thank you. And don't forget to wishlist Ultra Footmas 2 right now on Steam.
When I watch your gameplay, I can see the funness in here, but we don't have nothing about the business and about the your business, right? And I feel you can make mistakes in Web3 and see and you can see there are a lot of ways you can monetize and you don't show anything. I guess we can mix in the video here you are there, and I can help to you. And I guess you have one good way to your student. Okay, meet you in the video. Okay.
So then I think the feel of the game is pretty fun. And since we are creating a sequel, it would be great to emphasize again what are why your games sold so well previously, and emphasize it again in your pitch. On the business side, I'd love to understand what is your ask and how do you think your current community would react to include, like, for example, what the dash suggestion from your community, like the certain voices that they want to ask for it. Yeah. Maybe
Falar em português agora na audiência. A gente sabe que está tendo alguns probleminhas na transmissão, a banca vai deliberar e depois vai anunciar os resultados, assistindo depois esses pitches, com mais tempo, podendo assistir, né, com mais qualidade. Então, a gente só vai dando esse detalhe, e a gente também está gravando agora os feedbacks para depois deixar disponível para as equipes, né, para vocês, com melhor captação de áudio. A gente pede desculpa pelas questões técnicas, tá bom? Bem, agora vamos para o nosso sétimo. Pode mandar, é o Grimoires and Guns, da Ama Games, via Sony.
Se eles pudessem viver agora, teriam orgulho ou arrependimento?
Vai começar. O dinheiro compra o futuro, mas não apaga o passado. A minha dívida será cobrada. Sangue.
Eu cumprirei a nossa promessa. Não haverá um dia sequer que eu sentirei culpa. Um dia sequer que eu sentirei pena.
Hello everyone, my name is Arthur Tribuz. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Assine, and this is our project Grimoires and Guns, the hero builder auto battler card game. It's a free-to-play competitive card game where players have a main character on the board and buy support cards to make them stronger. We chose this game because it is very popular. Being free-to-play helps by lowering the barrier for new players, and with an interesting and fun mechanic, players can play against each other for a long time, and we can support that play time even with a small team. The game theme is modern fantasy, with elements from classic tabletop RPGs like Dungeons & Dragons and fantasy literature, like The Lord of the Rings, mixed with contemporary time, meaning technology, magic, and fantasy creatures such as elves, goblins, and dragons. We chose this theme because it is again very popular and familiar among gamers, and we think that this particular combination is not well explored by most games. The game's main inspiration is auto chess, creator of the auto battler subgenre. Each turn, the player is presented with 5 cards where they can cycle through and buy the ones they need to win the match. Besides that, our game offers different mechanics that not only make it unique, but also attempt to fix some problems from auto chess and existing games of its kind. On Hearthstone Battlegrounds, they also have hero characters, but they are more like auxiliary cards, and the creatures on the board are the main cards. In Grimoires and Guns, the main cards are the hero cards. That attempts to create a more personal connection between players and the heroes they choose. And the characters are always evolving, borrowing that fun of having a character and making them grow stronger that we have on RPGs. And in most auto battles, there are a lot of cards fighting on the board. On Grimoires and Guns, there's only one creature and the main character. Also, matches are 1 versus 1, making the overall experience faster. The free-to-play competitive market is quite big, with one of the most profitable being League of Legends, and in our subgenre, the most successful is Teamfight Tactics, also from Riot Games, with around $28 million of total grossing revenue. Our monetization model will consist of selling skins of every kind and playable characters. The skins will be cosmetic only to keep the game fair for everyone. And all players will be able to unlock every character just by playing the game for no longer than 1 or 2 months. Besides that, we won't sell loot boxes, which are items with randomized prizes that a lot of players dislike and will show to even have harmful effects to consumers, especially the younger audience. As most free games sell loot boxes, many players that don't like this feature might be inclined to play our games over the competition and help us build a loyal player base. Our marketing plans are investing in social media platforms, engaging with the players on Discord, and creating partnerships with streamers that play free competitive games, which is a great genre for streaming because they are very fun to watch and easily accessible to their fans. To play a pre-alpha version and contact us, please visit our website and reach out on our social media or emails. Thanks so much for your time.
On the social media or emails.
So, like my feedback, so to speak, would be like when you're presenting numbers and you're presenting your repeats, it's a very fast time that we need to present and put all your numbers and all graphics. It's very hard for who's watching to capture all the information in a very short time. So if a child that's 5 years old cannot watch your pitch, understand your information, not your pitch is not delivering the numbers right. So we have like 2 graphics, so tell a lot of stuff, and I didn't get any information from that thing. So I would look through that again.
So my general feedback regarding the game would be that choosing your game to be free to play is you're challenging the friend ocean. There are many players like this and many games, and benchmarking yourself to League of Legends, for example, doesn't feel very realistic because you mentioned how much marketing money they had to pour in to get all those volumes. So your business model is to sell skins. Like, have you thought about how many players you need to get into games? From my end, I think that this is very risky project.
Great. So let's go for 8 each. 4 spell survivors da Ascend Supernova Games.
For Spell Survivors is an online co-op action roguelike. It's an online experience with the fast-paced bullet hell gameplay popularized by Vampire Survivors. Early in 2022, Vampire Survivors took the world by storm and became a major hit with its simple yet highly addictive gameplay. Since then, many games have been developed inspired by its success. We have decided to expand on the core concepts, offering a deep, social, and cooperative online experience in this style. Collaborating with friends makes for much more engaging gameplay, be it local or on online matches. You can meet other survivors to chat, coordinate strategies, and conquer missions together in the Mage Garden. We have 10 playable characters, each one with a unique moveset. Each one has 3 different spells, and they have a very variety playstyle. Teamwork is key to survival. It's essential to make a synergic team that combines the different skills and roles for the characters. For example, damage dealer, a healer, a tank. That makes for a great team. Talking by team, our team is Supernova Games. We are a game developer company founded in 2016. We specialize in anime-style games, and we have released titles for many different platforms like PC, mobile, and other educational ones. Currently, we have 3 people working on For Spell Survivors. We started developments on August 2022. Now, on June, we have a pre-alpha of the game. We are in pre-alpha stage. on August 2023, we plan to release the early access and also to do a full release on March 2024. There are many games, many titles different on the genre of the survivors, like the Vampire Survivors, the main game Vampire Survivors, which started the trend, that has more than 7 million units sold and a big revenue estimate. And also there are many titles in this genre that also very successful, and it's a very successful, very fruitful genre and style of gameplay. Currently, we are looking for distribution for the game, global distribution for the Americas, Europe, and Asia, and other regions, and also looking for funding, marketing, console porting, and localization. Basically, the full package for a publisher. So, to summarize, For Spell Survivors is an action roguelike. We plan to release on August 2023, developed by Supernova Games. You can play with from 1 to 4 players, online or local. And we have an audience of mid-core and hardcore players. We plan to release on PC and console platforms. That's it. Thanks for your time, and let's survive together.
I like so much the partial on the side, when you talk about your business model and see how much Vampire Survivors can earn if they game had one plus price to $5 or $10, and how you can do this with your market share. And you, I guess, you can one business model, okay, to your trader.
So I really like the upbeat music. I really like the chaotic gameplay. It feels like very much a lot of fun to crush all those enemies. On the business side, I'm a bit. I was a bit confused about the production plan and the ask. So I'm not very clear what you're looking for, and also what is the price point that you think your product can defend? Like, what is the retail price you'll be aiming for? I think that would be much better if we include that information as well.
Okay. Okay, so let's go for next page. Just King, da Mind, Vixe Games.
Just King is an action auto battle with roguelike elements. Assemble your party to venture into different lands, fighting fearsome kings and their deadly armies. Use your loot to hire and upgrade mighty heroes or the bard, whatever fancies your playstyle. Our ground rules are simple. Just like in the classic chess, if the king dies, you lose. To avoid that from happening, you have to hire from the best heroes of the land to protect your royal back as you fight hordes of enemies. And to break a little from the auto battle mode, our game has a deep focus on movement and positioning. The combat is always dynamic and in the hands of the player. We have over 30 captivating heroes with unique abilities and gameplay. Different sceneries that will categorize these heroes and empower them even further with interesting effects. And over 100 items to be yielded by these heroes that will bring immense variability from run to run and create memorable moments. These are your tools and allies to defeat the dangers of the land and they're very cute, if I can say so myself. The land itself is divided among 5 zones, 4 of which are already available in our early access. Each zone has its own natural hazard, unique enemies, and a different set of enemy heroes working against you. And of course, the enemy king, that will have to be defeated in an epic boss fight. As you venture into the dangerous lands, you find new allies to hire and unlock new items through our achievement system. You find our short stories that bring in that feel of a pen and paper RPG with all its goofiness and details that flesh out the subtle lore that permeates this universe. The game has from 2 to 4 hours of gameplay if you go straight through each zone as a campaign, but each zone was itself designed to be replayable and self-contained. Each run's about 30 minutes long, so you can always squeeze a quick run during a break, but you also have 80 achievements to go through and daunting hardcore modes to keep you going for well over 12 hours. Just King has already sold more than 100,000 copies. We have an amazing community Discord with 1,400 players, and we haven't even launched our final zone yet. So you, hero, come join us, protect the king. Thank you so much.
It was a great pitch. It was very fun to watch, but I did miss the business part and what they are asking, what they want. So it's easy for me.
So the game looks pretty fun to play from the co-op perspective, and the art is really cute, and the pixel art is well crafted. So I think this is a nice unique selling point of the game. And on the business side, I probably didn't think the business plan felt like a bit of a.
And now, for the next pitch, To Kill a God, da Associação Abring, Glitch Factory.
Hello guys, my name is Tulio Mendes. I'm one of the co-founders of Glitch Factory and also the creative director of the team. Last year we've released No Place for Bravery, and we also have won Best Brazilian Game here at Big, so it's a cool thing. And now I'm here to show you our next project, so I will start with this video, right? The game is called To Kill a God, and it is a standalone adventure in the same world of No Place for Bravery. Here we are telling the story of a young guardian joining the order. In Bravery, we are telling the story. We already tell the story of the fall of the order, like the old order. Here we are showing it on its brighter days. So the game is an action roguelite, and the video that you saw was mock-up fight, using bravery assets, because the game will use the combat that we've been enhanced like since we got the Google fund. So we are really confident that we have a really good actions dodge hack and slash game right now. So this combat will be the solid base to construct the skill tree that we are here to present to you. So continue. It's a premium game setting up in the same world as No Place for Bravery. You don't need to play Bravery, but we kind of trying to create a brand here, so it's good to use the same word. It's an action roguelite, and the thing of the game actually is the unique skill system that we are developing, and it's the thing I will focus talking in this short talk right now. Our unique selling points is obviously the Gojo pixel art of Bravery that worked in the first game, and we will keep pushing the boundaries of pixel art and try to deliver like more amazing visuals. The brutal action combat, we have enhanced the combat is less technical right now. It's more like action hack and slash orientated, and we have the unique skill tree system. That's the thing of the game, because we are talking about the roguelite, and roguelites are about replayability and create new builds. And we imagine a way to create not only the player to follow a build to a specific path, but allow the player to create his own skill tree. So instead of creating just a build to run in each run, the player will be actually creating his own skill tree, and it will be unique in all the world. So how it will work? The basis that we constructed is the basis for this skill tree. We imagine is Path of Exile, passive skill tree, but we are trying to take a next step in this concept and do a skill tree that the player is allowed also to create skills. So how it will works? Here is a simple example, like a simple skill tree. The player will follow through the tree and get skills. Now imagine that each black dot is one empty slot, and the colored one are the skill bases. So for the player to evolve in the skill tree, he needs to create one skill for that slot. So he can use also passive and active skill to create the skill and create his own abilities and his own status and everything he wanted to do. So imagine the player want to create a new active skill, he will select two active skill or one active and one passive and create new status. And the cool thing is that the player can also enhance the character status. So he will have like for as basis 1 point of strong or anything like that, and he needs to duplicate that point and create and to change the character status. Here is how we are kind of designing it and starting it, but I think we ran out of time, and that's it. I hope you like it, and I hope that we can talk more about this idea.
Exato, né? Meu Deus. Terminou? Terminou, aqui. Agora voltou a energia. Bem, gente, temos uma situação aqui que caiu a energia, né, aqui do palco, infelizmente, né? Mas a gente vai colocar um computador aqui, né, com os nossos jurados para eles terminarem de assistir os pitches, né? E porque a gente, né, tem que religar aqui os LEDs. Então, fiquem tranquilos, né, que a gente está fazendo uma contingência aqui para os nossos jurados continuarem a assistir os pitches. E também fiquem tranquilos que a gente vai passar, né, o arquivo desses pitches para eles assistirem de novo. E aí, até o fim do dia, né, até amanhã, a gente vai ter os resultados aí finais, né, que vão ser anunciados nas redes sociais. Então, né, só para deixar um pouco registrado aqui, os próximos pitches que a gente vai assistir, tem o Tower of Sansara, Hidden Treasure, da SP Jogos. O próximo é o Justin, né? Não, já foi o Justin, já foi o Thank You God. O próximo é o Tower of Sansara. Então, de fato, o próximo é o Tower of Sansara, né? Hidden Treasures, da SP Jogos, da Elex Games. A gente tem o The Light of the Darkness Classic, da Ring, né? Da 4 Mundo Games e FBX. A Will Starts, da The Jogos, Easy Play Game Studio. E Neve, da Game Go, Black Molusca. E YVY, YVY, da ASC Games, da Plus Plus, né, da associação ASC Games do estúdio Plus Plus. Então a gente só está colocando aqui, né, para os nossos jurados. É isso, gente, quem sabe faz ao vivo. A gente está colocando aqui para os nossos jurados que realmente caiu a energia do pavilhão, né, e está voltando agora. Até ligar o painel de LEDs, a gente vai colocar os pitches aqui para eles continuarem ouvindo e darem o feedback. O som dá, mas eu acho que a gente pode continuar assistindo aqui. Então tá. Então a gente pode botar para sincronizar os dois. Então, Só dê uns minutinhos aí, a gente vai ficar na tela de espera e a gente já volta em um minutinho para resolver aqui essa questão técnica. Pedimos desculpas aí para a audiência, são contingências que acontecem, mas a gente já está acertando tudo aqui na medida do possível, tá ok? Só um minutinho, tela de espera e a gente já volta. Bem, pessoal, conseguimos resolver aqui. Eles assistiram de novo o To Kill a God aqui, né, para poder fazer a deliberação. E agora, uns comentários da nossa banca, To Kill a God.
I really like the beats. It was pretty interesting, and I really like the experiments. So I think the art is great. I love the looks, but there was a lacking of business plan. Like I don't know what they launched, what they are meeting. So that would be my feedback for the pitch.
It's okay? Então vamos para o próximo pitch, que é o pitch do Tower of Sansara da SP Jogos, do estúdio Elect Games.
Hello everyone, I'm Marcelo Rigon. It's an honor to be presenting you Tower of Sansara Hidden Treasures. In this game, you are a long-dead Plutonian that was resurrected by the power of the sun on Pluto, and then you are exploring these forgotten worlds that is almost dead nowadays, and fighting a lot of enemies in a hard combat, Souls-like kind of. And then we meet a lot of equipments to get your choose of fighting and moving around. This game I could summarize for you that it is a Metroidvania with Souls-like approach with Shadow of Colossus meeting Ghostbuster in space. Well, this project was started in 2014 by Guilherme Gaspar. At the time, he was a recent graduate on Fine Arts here in São Paulo, and he put together all this concept, and he started sending this out to a few events. He got very far by not having a game development background, and in 2016, it culminated in a Kickstarter campaign that he was able to raise about 14,000 euros. But however, he was asking for 75,000 euros, so it was not possible to get the funding. And then a few years later, I was one of this backer, and I reached to him to ask how the project was doing. And as unfortunately, I had to hear that the project was dying because they didn't get the funds to keep the company going. And then I asked him to come to Elex Games because we have already services and other things that can make this a reality, even if you don't get a publisher. And he brought us the IP and become our art director. Also, Caio Chagas is our creative director, and I am the tech director, besides being the CEO. We already have a few games launched, and all of them are self-published. Though the two main titles we have published so far has sold almost 1 million copies, and we have 10 people working full-time in our company, besides a few freelancers. This game already has a demo running, and we expect to have a longer alpha version of that by Gamescom. We want to have a closed beta by GDC with most of the content already done, and for more people to check it out and give us feedbacks, besides the QA team we have inside. And between Big Festival and Gamescom, we are going to release it for all platforms. This is a $20 game with a $10 to $12 of hours of gameplay, very close to what it happens on Blasphemous and the Lilies and Records of Lord's War, Metroidvania, with a Souls-like combat and dark fantasy space opera setting. We can do all the development and the third-party services like music and any other of that, but we need help for localization, QA, and submission to other platforms as well as the dev kits. Thank you so much for your time.
Any comments? Some comments?
Very nice game, very well structured pitch. Generally, I think that the only concern I had was that all the words in the Kickstarter campaign was quite some time ago, like 6-7 years ago. So, besides that, like regarding the business, there's a clear control now. Understanding the price point would be also great to find out about the great point.
So go to the next page, the light. Light of the darkness. The light of the darkness classic.
Краутария бриди, Эрес уфнет. Узул ади оскаридуе. Os mesmos existem como absurda adiluteruso. Muda em desprez res hasta pico. Uzul adi oscaridue. Orcotesco.
Hi everyone, thanks for having me. I'm Alex, I'm partner at Quarto Mundo, a game and VFX outsourcing boutique based in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. My goal today is to present you The Light of the Darkness, a game based in our namesake fantasy universe. The game blends Castlevania's exploration with Legacy of Kain's rich narrative. The hero, Cepheus, wakes up with no memories in the lands of oblivion, where death deletes you from the minds of everybody else. He is the first and only hybrid ever in a world divided between two rival strains, so he's an outcast trying to survive through a war and uncover his path. The core loop of the game has to do with exploring a non-linear dynamic map with 9 biomes for a total of 30 hours of gameplay. To explore it, players have to gradually master core mechanics, like a physics-based flying mechanic and this assets absorption we can see on the screen right now. During the exploration, the players face challenges that allow them to develop the protagonist. They are combat challenges in a Souls-like style, movement challenges that test dexterity to traverse a tough scenario, and puzzle challenges that require a clever use of objects in the level and spell combinations to overcome hazards. By overcoming such challenges, players improve their exploration and combat skills while unveiling the story. Such rewards can be weapons, spells, memos, maps, and other items, like this hammer and this blue gem over here. Metroidvania has a secret sauce, and the ingredients are First, a flying mechanic. Players evolve from basic to fully developed flight, so unlocking new areas and aerial combats like old classics like Demon's Crest and Acturazer. Second, our essence absorption mechanic also absorbs enemies' memories, which uncover the story. Look, since every player encounters are different, the respective version of the story will be somehow unique. The visuals are awesome. Hand-painted art, realistic 3D models, and Unreal's new technologies that deliver gorgeous scenarios to be explored. The game has been getting a growing acceptance in the form of community growth, prizes, press coverage, and funding, which includes crowdfunding and granting programs. We benchmarked 13 of the most successful games like ours. These titles here are the ones we used in our sales forecast, which use an adjusted box-related method. The sales scenarios range from $7 million to $21 million over a 5-year period. And this one here in the table considers the distribution through a major publisher used to games like this. This is a timeline showing that we can deliver the game by March 2025. And of course, it depends on the financial resources, but it is important to say that it is an outsourcing company. So we are used to hire and onboard talents and make them work in production pipelines. Our management team has over 8 years of combined experience in the gaming industry and a complementary set of skills. This includes people involved in titles nominated to BAFTA that worked under strict deadlines for major studios, publishers, and external development companies. We are used to define production pipelines and choose the right talents to work on them. We have a vertical slice almost finished. We invest around $260,000 in this project. We have experience in delivering other studios' games. Now, we look for a publisher capable of bringing smart money to the project, meaning not only the funds, but also experience with this kind of product and complementary services. We believe that such partnership will be instrumental in unleashing the potential of this project. To those interested in knowing more about, please take my contact. Thanks for listening to me. Bye-bye.
Pode falar.
We get we need to in the okay the next week.
The only comment from my end is that the game looks really great. The planning and the delivery is very good. The only thing I have to add is that using just successful benchmark titles might be a bit off with the realism of how tough the market is. So I would recommend you to do more research and also look for the similarities of games that fail and finding the reason why they fail.
So let's go to the next pitch. Will starts da De Jogos RS, Easy Play Game Studio.
Hello everyone, my name is Everton Vieira and I am CEO and co-founder of Easy Play Game Studio. I'm here to present to you our brand new game, our most ambitious game called Will Stars. Please think Fall Guys meeting Hot Wheels, Will Stars is the most famous card tournament on the planet, involving up to 20 pilots who compete in squads and against each other in a series of challenging game modes and round types. The genre here is the racing platform battle royale. The target platform is multiplayer, mobile first, and the monetization is free to play based on hybrid casual style from using ads and in-app purchase. The party runner game genre just born, so there is a lot to explore in this field, and we have basically two big projects, two big titles on the market currently, Fall Guys and Stumble Guys. So we can see a clear spot, a free spot to explore, to occupy, and we use that most close to a casual and between race and battle royale. About the unique selling points, the first one is the hyper-casual core loop. We use your experience on hyper-casual markets in the last years to polish this very easy to understand, very easy to play core loop. And this is the basic for the whole project. The second and most important pillar, I can say, this unique combination between cooperation and competition. We can see competition in the other titles, but cooperation is not so common. And the Will Stars is completely based on cooperation inside the squads. And for last and not least, to offer a more casual game, a most adaptive matchmaking, we use a combination between bots and players and real players. Will Stars match is composed of round types, and each match can be different using different round types, and each round type will offer a unique experience, a unique rules, and a different perspective about cooperation and competition. For instance, the towers blocks round type, the players must build a tower faster than the other squads, and to do that there is a lot of several strategies. For example, for instance, two cars can help each other to tow a bigger block and build the tower faster than the other squads. This is our current roadmap. We just reached the MVP stage. We have a lot of work to do, polish the art style, polish the core game loop, and create more round types. But currently, we have the multiplayer working and cross-platform, and we have 3 game modes available. And we will start the massive play tests and looking for partners like investors and publishers to follow the project and look into the end of this year to be the first soft launch. Let's talk a bit about EasyPlay, about our studio. We will complete 13 years old. We are considered veterans in the industry. Our team is composed of 35 employees currently in different roles like BI analysis, marketing, and QA testers. Our development is a data-driven development. We feel more comfortable to scan the marketing and analyze the players' behavior to take our decisions. We use the hybrid casual model to free-to-play, exploring revenue from ads and in-app purchase at the same time. And like I mentioned before, we consider ourselves a multi-platform approach with mobile first. We developed a lot of different games in our trajectory, including PC and work for hire, and we focus on mobile since 2015 with our own games, and keep doing that until reach our current status that is close to or more than 30 million downloads in total around the world. And you feel very comfortable and mature to take care of a project like this. Thanks for the presentation.
The pitch was great. What can I say about EasyPlay? You guys are huge. I would just would like to know a little bit better what you guys are looking for, how much you're looking for to complete this kind of project. It's a little bit more on the business side, but everything else is like great.
Some here. So from my end, regarding the game itself, like maintaining this sort of user base, I think that there's a biggest concern from my end how to do this. And on the side of publishing, I'm wondering whether you plan to self-publish it or you publisher supporting it.
Agora, pega o microfone. Nós vamos. Agora nós vamos para o nosso 14º pitch, penúltimo pitch. É o jogo Neve, da Associação Regional Game Gonna de Goiás, do estúdio Black Music.
Imagine you just wake up trapped inside a claustrophobic capsule. You have only 1 hour to escape before the oxygen runs out. And you only have the help of a suspicious AI and 2 women you barely know, whom you must convince to risk their own lives to save yours. And that's not all. A mysterious threat, it will challenge everything you thought you knew. Hi, I'm Michelle Santos, and I'm really excited to show you guys Neve, an upcoming interactive fiction for PC and Mac. In Neve, you step into the shoes of Captain Jasmina, who finds herself trapped in a cryogenic pod after a spaceship wreck. As your oxygen slowly runs out, you must deal with the perils of an unknown planet and rely on your only crew members, Atalanta and Hylas, to help you fix the ship. The biggest challenge lies with this tense and profound relationship with the true woman, testing your leadership and force you to question how far you go to save your own life. This gameplay images show it's a first-person perspective game. Use a computer screen to communicate with your crew, solve intriguing puzzles, and unravel mysteries. Branch narrative games have a dedicated audience, and we are introducing this audience to an unique way of interacting with the narrative. In Neve, each player's interaction make the clock ticks. Events in the game unfold chronologically for all 3 characters simultaneously. This means that while the players help one crew member, time is keeping running for the other one too. They will continue to act and be influenced by events in their own timelines. Time is also the primary difficulty in solving the many puzzles in the game. So this creates a sense of urgency and impact in your choice, which means that each player will play in their own way and shapes their own narrative. The meaning of your journey will be reinforced in a flowchart at the end of the game, where players can see the decisions they made in the face of a wide range of other possibilities. This will encourage players to try different paths and different endings. They will also be able to compare the performance statistics with those of the other players. So, successful interactive fiction games typically have a very good sales performance, but we also see opportunities for higher numbers as demonstrated by narrative focused game like Disc Elysium. Navi is an exciting experience with a gameplay of 4 hours that will captivate you from the very first second. It presents a great opportunity to build a player base interested in an expandable universe in which we intend to explore in next projects. So we anticipate the definitive release for the first half of the next year, and we are a competent and award-winning team which has a network of partners, and we aim to expand our network of partners who can contribute to marketing, PR, localization, and porting to other platforms. So I invite you guys to play Neve demo during the big festival and come have a chat with us at Panorama Brasil LA. See you there. Thank you.
So my biggest concern regarding the game is that the price point is set at $6, which in fact means that realistically you'd be earning between $1 or $2 per game. So I recommend reviewing the business plan.
So let's go to the next pitch of this event. IWE, the Studio Plus Plus of the Studio Plus Plus of Ask Games from Santa Catarina. Please.
Ubiratã, sou o pajé do meu povo, os mal da terra. Somos filho da terra, irmãos de tudo que há nela. Tugã, nossa deusa criadora, me mostrou um vislumbre do futuro em que a nossa aldeia não existia mais. Em seu lugar estava uma selva de pedra, com grandes torres que mais pareciam ninhos de insetos. Tugã, guia meus passos.
Hello, I am Eliandro from Plus Plus Studios, and I will present the pitch deck for our game, IWE. IWE is a roguelike auto battler with combat mechanics based on the rolling of customizable dice. The games tell the story of the Earth Hands people and their fight against colonial invaders, based on real events in Brazil in the 16th century. IWE is a game that has a strong identity, both in mechanics and storyline and art. One of our objectives is to create a memorable product that is easily recognizable. As a unique selling point, we have our dice build mechanic. The way that the player constructs the dice completely changes the character's combat style, achieving a blend of strategy and luck, which is one of the hooks of the game. Although the game is an auto battler, the player still has access to active abilities that can be used manually, bringing direct interaction within the battle. Using the right ability at the right moment is crucial for a victory. Our theme is underexplored in the game market. The indigenous people of Brazil have a rich culture that have been largely erased. We believe that IWE is a great way to bring more of these incredible stories to the world, which is also a significant differentiator for the game. The replayability and randomness inherent from the roguelikes are what bring all these elements into harmony, delivering a unique game within a well-established genre and target audience. We know that roguelike genre is very popular with the data from the game stats, for example, website, showing that there are more than 4,000 roguelikes games on Steam alone, generating a total revenue of more than $1 billion. Our intention is not only to be on Steam, but also target all other game markets. starting with a PC version priced at $14.99. Some of our competitors and also sources of inspiration are Slay the Spire, Loop Hero, and Dice Dungeons. Iwi has received public funding for its development. The budget was sufficient to pay for 18 months of development after pre-production, and we do not have a specific release date yet. We want to evaluate our options for 24 next year, especially regarding our presence in events and festivals. But our expectation to release expectative is to launch in the first half of the year. We also plan to work on DLCs after the release. This is our incredible core team. It's me, Eliandro Fontes, also Wanderson Alves, also known as Valves, Ande, Anne Caru, and Nelson D. We also we have development covered. So what we need is QA, localization, full service for marketing and community strategy, porting expertise since the team has only experience with PC and mobile releases, and access to international events for showcasing the game to the public and as well announcements and the launch itself. And this is Iwi. Thank you for your attention. We hope you liked the project, and you can reach us through the email ++gamedev@gmail.com. Thank you and goodbye.
Ciao.
Thank you and goodbye. Any comments? Remarks? So no comments. So everyone, thank you for you that joined us today. I'll give excuse to our international and foreigners to conclude this event in Portuguese, because most of those who are watching us from Brazil. So, muito obrigado a todos e a todas que estiveram com a gente nessa transmissão. A gente queria pedir desculpa pelos problemas técnicos que a gente teve, né, contingências que acontecem em evento ao vivo. Espero que tenham gostado de todos os pitches. Agora a banca vai deliberar, vai olhar as notas, eles vão ter chance de assistir de novo os pitches, caso necessário. E até amanhã, né, a gente vai ter nas redes sociais da SPCine, @SPCineGame, né, nas redes sociais da SPCineGame, @SPCineGame no Instagram, Facebook, etc., uma divulgação de quem são os 5 finalistas do Big Direct das associações regionais que vão apresentar lá no Big Festival. Lembrando que se você quiser estar algum dia aqui nesse evento do Big Direct apresentando o seu vídeo para publishers e investidores, basta você estar associado a uma associação regional da sua região, né, do seu estado, e aplicar para o processo seletivo específico que as associações regionais passam nos seus respectivos estados. Então, é importante deixar isso claro, né, que é justamente uma forma de estimular os jogos que estão fazendo parte dessas associações locais, e esperamos, né, que a gente possa se encontrar todos nós no evento para assistir em cima do palco os pitches de vocês. Muito obrigado mais uma vez, agradeço aqui ao Inova Summit que deu espaço aqui do palco, né, a Juliana, toda a organização do Indivíduo, e também a SPCineGame, né, por ter organizado essa live. Nos vemos no vídeo. Muito obrigado.